Hey guys, how the hell is it going? David Hayes, Tip. You are watching the Hayes. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Today I am doing amazing. Thank you for asking. Now, it's been an exciting day or two for us here. Just where you see these yellow lights, I came across, boom, a burning truck on my way into work. So that was quite interesting to come across just randomly on my morning ride. Of course, I'll have a link to a little bit of a video of that down in the description below if you guys want to check out more of that. But, I decided to pop the camera on my way to actually go grab a coffee. And make myself a little video for you guys here today, kind of giving my 5 beginner tips. Now, they're not the top 5 tips, but they're 5 tips that I have found extremely crucial, especially in that initial beginner stage of looking at bikes, acknowledging that this is what I want to do, and then going and pursuing it. There's just so much for a rider to have to learn in that initial stage of getting into the activity that I feel it does really help that beginner rider more than any other group or skill level of rider to kind of hear some of these points. They'll be a basic, but still are great points to know or think about before getting into riding motorcycles as a sport, because as we all know as experienced riders, it's a lot more than what you initially bargained for. You just think, I'm going to get a bike and have a good time, hop on it, go for a ride down the road, and just be on my merry way. Only to realize that once you actually get moving, how cold it can be or how hot it can be, how exposed to all of the elements that you really are for sudden weather changes, exposed to the traffic, the smells, just everything about being on a motorbike is so much more vivid than what it is to be in a car. It can definitely be overwhelming for a beginner rider, especially if they have no previous experience of any sort of two-wheel sports, or riding bicycles or riding on dirt bikes, or even rollerblading and skating in the street, doing something where they're in traffic but not inside a vehicle. Just even having that perspective will definitely make a major difference. But for someone with none of that experience, I think these 5 tips are definitely going to help get you in the right direction, at least for a beginner rider. And starting off this list, we're going to start with practice and research. Now, I'm going to lump those two together as number 1, simply because I think you need to make sure you're doing the research on what it is to ride a motorbike, what sort of motorbike you think you would like for yourself, what style, what size, what's going to fit the ergonomics of your body. But also researching kind of all the other various things that go along with riding a motorcycle, like what it will take to do your license, if there's any sort of restriction on your license when first initially getting a motorcycle as far as size or times in which you can ride, if you need a person that's there to supervise you, and various other factors that go along with just learning the knowledge, insert Tai Lopez there, just learning the basic knowledge of what it is to get into the sport, what you'll need to start off, and sort of basic rules and etiquette when it comes to riding. And then getting out there and practicing, and I don't mean practicing on the road. I'm still talking more in a closed course sense of practice, of practicing in a nice big open parking lot, just sitting there and getting a feel for your clutch, sitting there in doing basic stop-go exercises, or if you have cones or there's the lines or markings on the road, practice swerving between those or in and out of those, or just really getting a basic rudimentary feel for your bike and kind of really hammering down the super basic of basics when it comes to not only understanding your motorcycle, and that might even mean getting into mechanical things, checking your oil, checking your brake pads, and doing some minor servicing, or at least acknowledging that your bike needs to be serviced, right into acknowledging or learning things of rules of the road and sort of the in-outs of operating a motorbike, and then taking that sort of knowledge and turning it into something more of practice and actually going out there and experiencing those things. So that is tip number one. I'm just going to stop and grab a coffee here, so I'll be right back. Boom, and we are back. So number one is research and practice, or practice and research, because if you want to start anything, you got to start at the beginning, and that is the very beginning point of getting into riding motorcycles. Now, number two is going to be another very basic thing, but extremely important, is you want to get good gear. Make sure you get good gear that fits, that protects you from the weather, that's comfortable, that has all the safety ratings, that gives you the best visibility possible. You want to check all the boxes off when it comes to getting some quality gear. I have hit the ground at high rates of speed going through twisties, a story I will tell you about another time, but what saved me from being seriously injured and maybe even deterred from continuing to ride was the fact that I had some really high quality gear on that saved my butt big time. So make sure that you're doing your research on your gear, but then actually going out and making that a big part of your purchase. It's almost just as important as your motorcycle, if not on an equal level. I believe the term is ATGAT, something like that. I can't remember what that term is. I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but just remember, man, get some good gear. It is worth it in the long run. And number three, don't be that guy on the ride. Don't go squidding before you've even squad. Don't squid before you've even gone squidding. I don't know. Something along those lines. Don't become a meat crayon on the road, basically, before you even got to get to enjoy riding a motorbike. No one wants to ride with that guy that might, just go out there, go crazy when he doesn't know what he's doing, when he's still learning. People can kind of see when you're not riding with confidence and riding reckless, and no one wants to ride with that guy, so don't be that guy. And number 4 for me is going to be keep it local at first when you're riding around, just so you know routes and gas stations and stores and all the things that if anything goes wrong or you need to make a stop for anything, you kind of know where everything is. And also on that off chance of something going wrong, you might be able to call a friend or someone to come and give you a hand, fix your bike, or be able to throw your bike in the back of a truck if something, God forbid, mechanically goes wrong or something happens. I would say, keep it local at first, or ride in responsible small groups of, 1 to maybe 3 or 4 other good riders, mature riders, people that can help look after you. If one of them's on a big bagger or a Harley with some extra luggage capacity, or maybe a big Honda Goldwing, that's always beneficial because you know that they got a whole toolkit and jack stand and everything in those side bags. So ride with people that are responsible if you are going to ride, and try to keep it in a small group. And just go out there and have fun with it. But again, going back to rule number 4, don't be that guy. And last but certainly not least, just get out and ride. That is rule number 5. Just get out there. Just get out there and ride as much as you can. Get a feel for your bike. The more you're on your bike, the more you and the machine become one, and the more the whole thing just becomes natural, and you can just really enjoy yourself and have fun, and get to experience what it is to be out there on 2 wheels, get a feel for all the elements, and just absolutely have the most fun you possibly can. Ever since getting my motorbike license, I have basically been on my bike every day, and you can see it's not the nicest day now. It's a little cold, it's a little windy, but I absolutely love riding. Well, that's going to wrap it up here, guys. Let me know how I did down in the comments. What would be your top 5? And as always, like, share, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Certainly appreciate it if you've made it to this point in the video. You guys truly are champions, and I hope you're having a great day. And until next time, I will catch you guys all again real soon. Alright.